Bloom Energy just reported earnings and they blew it out of the park, and investors obviously liked it because this stock is exploding after hours. Now, obviously, I'm filming this at night, so the market's closed technically. But this thing has not stopped going up. And today I kind of want to talk about their earnings a bit and why I am so bullish even at this slightly or maybe a lot overvalued valuation. Now, I haven't made a video in a while because I've been running my own business. I do video production, and also we're preparing for another baby, so it's just been a wild few months, so I haven't made a video. But I wanted to make a video when I first invested in this company. Now, I first started investing in this company when I saw that they partnered with Oracle to deploy fuel cells, or their technology, with Oracle at their data centers and whatnot. And so I think a lot of people got in at this time. And I think at this time it was around $30 that I actually decided to invest. And I think we can see it right here. I'll show you my screen. This was the initial pump from $26 to 33, right? So it wasn't doing a ton before that. After this partnership, I think a lot of people started researching the stock and the company just like I did. When it pumped on that Oracle news, I bought a little bit around the $33 to $36 range. I didn't know much about it, did like a very quick research. And then as I researched more and more, I kind of fell in love with the name, and obviously I wanted to invest more, but this thing absolutely ran without me. And I say that, like, I obviously was buying all the way up, but this thing did not stop. We had this drawdown here, but from July, the end of July to the end of September, July, August, September, 2 months, it went up 158%, okay? And then from that initial pump, it's up 315%, okay? So this thing absolutely has not stopped running, and it kind of pissed me off because I just wanted to allocate more, and I couldn't because it was just running so fast. And now I'm buying at these levels. But you know what? It's okay because now I think my thesis has only grown stronger. My thesis started with the Oracle partnership being a strong partnership to start with, where Oracle asked Bloom to deploy their fuel cell technology within 90 days. Bloom actually delivered in 55 days, which is awesome. But my initial thesis was, well, if Oracle's investing then or buying from them, I'm sure other hyperscalers will. And sure enough, we've seen they've gotten a few deals. But now my thesis is even stronger now that they have a little bit more clarity on, after doing research, I know what they do now, partners that they have or they're working with, and then new deals and growth, right? Quarter over quarter, year over year. And so this company right now is sitting at $136 per share. Like I said, it was $30 back in July, so very quick run up. And it's at a $26 to $30 billion market cap. Now, I think this company has a potential to go to $100 billion market cap or more over the next few years as the AI data center build out ramps up. Okay. Now, I definitely want to do a deep dive about Bloom Energy and the company itself and the technology and why it's important. I'll probably talk about it a tiny bit right now, but my purpose with this video is to talk about their earnings and what we're seeing with their earnings, right? So they absolutely crushed earnings. As we can see, they had a revenue of $519 million in this third quarter, 57% increase from last year, quarter three. And so when I look at growth companies that I want to invest in, I try to look at companies that are growing at least 20% or more year over year. Just because in my mind, the S&P 500 is, returning 20% at the most, sometimes more, sometimes less, per year. So if I can find a company growing faster than that, I know that's not really a technical, but I try to find a company that's growing more than 20% or even 30%. Bloom Energy is growing at 57% year over year. Now, last quarter they reported, I think it was 19% year over year, but I expected them to ramp up that growth from the Oracle deal and then also other deals that they got. And so, and I fully expect this number to keep going up, maybe not next quarter, but going into 2026, I think that we'll keep seeing this amount of growth or even more as more hyperscalers and companies deploy their Bloom Energy's technology to their AI data centers and their companies and factories and pretty much everything. They're definitely moving into the realm of profitability and consistent profitability at that. And we heard that a little bit from the CEO that he expects 2026 to see even more growth and profitability, which is really nice because they haven't been profitable until now. And I feel like this is a really nice inflection point where there's a lot of tailwinds such as AI, mainly AI data centers being the momentum, but also the energy bottleneck that we're seeing. All these hyperscalers and the Mag 7 names, they want to go nuclear, right? They want to go after those nuclear names. And I'm really bullish on nuclear stocks and nuclear companies. I really like CEG, Constellation Energy, and then also CCJ, which is a miner in Canada for uranium minerals. The only thing is that nuclear takes a bit to build out. And so this Bloom Energy fuel cell technology that they have, it's on-site power. So they can deploy this to your data center, to your company, your factory, your power grid. They can deploy it really quickly. Oracle requested 90 days to have Bloom deploy their fuel cell technology. It took Bloom 55 days. So they delivered it in almost half the time. And so if they keep getting more clients and there's even more of an energy bottleneck, Bloom Energy could solve that really quickly with their technology that they have. So we're definitely moving into the realm of profitability. And then during the earnings call, I was wrestling my two kids, my two toddlers. So I had an AirPod in one ear trying to listen to everything. And so I got the gist of it. I was a little bit distracted, but I definitely want to go over this a little bit more, probably on my own time. But there's some highlights here that I definitely want to talk about. Bloom Energy got a partnership with Brookfield, which is an investment firm, but they focus on AI data centers and energy. I don't know much about them, so that's kind of what I've read so far. But they got a $5 billion deal or investment from Brookfield for Bloom to implement their fuel cell technology at Brookfield's, all their infrastructure that they have. And that's just really exciting because Bloom Energy, I think, has a $1 billion or more revenue per year. And so they already got a $5 billion investment or deal. And that's just really bullish because they could get more deals like this worth the same amount, even less. And their numbers and their growth are just going to accelerate over the next few years with more deals and more partnerships. Within that range, that's a lot of money. I'm assuming that Oracle paid them a good amount of money to do their thing as well. Capacity expansion to 2 gigawatts by December 2026 is all systems go with no anticipated bottleneck for customers. So like I said, they have the system down where they can deploy their technology really quickly. Like I said, they deployed it for Oracle in half the time. And so there shouldn't be really a bottleneck if they ramp up the amount of clients that they get. which is just really exciting. So that's pretty much all I really want to talk about right now. I do want to go into a deeper dive about what Bloom Energy actually does. But overall, I'm really excited about this company. Granted, it has run up a ton over the past few months. It's been a really good stock to have been invested in. And I do see more upside to this company. With more companies becoming interested in power and energy, and especially with the bottleneck that we're having, I think more companies are going to want to rely on on-site power. And there's actually a statistic that shows that they're thinking about on-site power a lot more than trying to get power from outside sources. And this on-site power is also clean, and that's what Bloom takes pride in, is that it actually is clean. And so they're not going to face scrutiny from the general public for deploying these fuel cell technologies. We've seen a lot of people hating on data centers for taking up a lot of water, electricity, being super loud, generating a lot of heat, specifically the Bitcoin miners. And so if they can steer clear of scrutiny from the public, I think they're in even more of a good situation to keep scaling and keep providing infrastructure for companies and even governments, right? Like I said, $26 to $30 billion market cap, and this thing could keep running. We get rate cuts tomorrow, or today. If you're going to watch this, it's probably today that you're watching it. We're getting rate cuts this season. Nvidia, we're getting earnings reports left and right, and so we're going to see if these companies are still investing heavily in AI, and if they are, that means they need energy, and Bloom Energy is right there to supply a lot of that energy for these companies. I'm personally think in the ballpark of this company at least reaching $100 billion market cap in the next few years. And right now it's at a $20 to $30 billion market cap. So we'd see a 3 to 4x from these current levels. And that doesn't take into account any dips that we might get. So I have been buying up into the earnings. I was a little worried that earnings might tank the stock. So I bought, 2 put contracts just in case as a hedge. But it worked out and they absolutely crushed. And so I decided to buy some as soon as I saw the numbers. And so I continue to be a buyer even at these levels. I know it's a little overvalued, but the market's future looking, and they're seeing that there's going to be demand for this company moving forward. And so obviously do your own due diligence. If you want to invest at these levels, that's on you. But I do believe that we go higher. It might not be as fast as we did before from 30 to 135 now, but I think we do go higher with more deals and more positive sentiment about AI data centers and companies as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will be coming out with a deeper dive about the actual company and the actual technology once I have some time to make that video. So watch out for that, and talk to you guys later.